Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a breakdown of one of the newest scenes included in one of the newest teasers of the Daryl Dixon series, which includes a flashback to Daryl before the France situation. Alright guys, so this one's going to be doing another video for the Walking Dead universe. This one's going to be talking about Daryl Dixon, of course, and the newest teaser that we had where we see in this one a major scene that definitely is very telling of Daryl's journey to France. So I thought we would go ahead and break this one down a little bit because I did have a lot of people that were telling me that this clip in the trailer is significant. It does have a lot of stuff to it. And at first when I saw it, I was kind of like, okay, so maybe since we know that Carol is going to be in Daryl Dixon, we know that she's going to be coming back. We've seen some of the set photos of her where she is on set for season 2. And I do still think to a degree that she will have some sort of appearance in season 1. I am very much believing that she will be maybe not a cliffhanger per se, but I feel like they will include her in season 1. I do still feel like we'll get something with her, but it's going to be very minor, and then she'll be in season 2, and we'll learn how she got where she is, right? But one of the biggest things that we do know is that Daryl is going to be in France, but we still don't know how he got there, right? And that's, I think, mostly from what I've seen from the fans, that's the biggest question people have, is that it's like, okay, how did he get to France? How did this whole thing, go? Because at the end of The Walking Dead, Daryl just went off. He went off to look for Rick. He went off to look for Michonne, but he never necessarily said that he was leaving the friggin' country. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that kind of got to that point. And then people started talking about this scene in the teaser where you see Daryl and he's on the bike, right? And he kind of like gets off. And you see the crossbows there, the bike is in the same condition, and the road looks very similar to where he was at the end of The Walking Dead, right? Now, obviously, probably a little bit of time's passed, but it doesn't really seem like all that much time has passed to me. It seems like it's still pretty close to the end of The Walking Dead. So let's go through some of the pieces that we do have, right? Because I definitely think that this is a flashback sequence right here, which, again, I appreciate that they're doing that because I think there's a lot to be told. Because we've never seen anybody in the Walking Dead universe go from the U.S. to Paris. That's just absolutely insane. So how did things get there, right? So let's go over some of the pieces that we have so far. We see him here, which is easily after the events of Walking Dead, pretty quickly after. And we also see that he is on a ship, right? We see that he's fighting some guys. We see that, of course, when he's telling the story in the trailer, that there's some bad decisions that he made that got him here in the first place. So he goes from here, he gets on the ship, something goes down on the ship, and we see him, get kicked off, right? We see him go into the water. And there's also a bit of a gap there on how did he get from the ship blowing up to on an upside down boat all the way to France. There is a lot of little gaps here being filled in. And, at first I was kind of sitting there thinking like, okay, this makes no sense. There's no way this could ever happen. But if he's captured here, right, and he's put on a ship, and the people that take him are on their way to France, it would make more sense. You know what I mean? Now, who would have a ship in the apocalypse? What kind of settlement is this, right? Because there's got to be a decent amount of people. Do they come from France and they're outsiders that came to America and now they're on their way back? I don't know. I don't know if that's the deal. I don't know what's going on. But we know that Daryl is going to be going through every little thing he can do to find Rick. And we know that, we're going to see a lot of that stuff. So it kind of makes sense if Daryl goes to France. And again, it is a very big stretch. But if Daryl goes to France, and then he goes out here, he looks for Rick, he's captured by these guys, he gets on this boat, something wrong happens, Daryl gets the upper hand as he always does, and, things go, wrong on this ship, and then he gets kicked off, right? And then he may find a way, or somebody might find a way to save him, put him on this boat, and lead him somewhere, right? I mean, it's a big stretch. Obviously, we'll have to see what the actual final, thing is. I just appreciate that we're showing this, right? Because I did not think we would see flashbacks at all. I really didn't. I thought that we would see minor little scenes here and there, minor details explained, but nothing too, significant. So if Carol's in the area, right? and maybe she sees his bike, right? Because I feel like that's what's going to happen. We're probably going to see a scene in season 2 where Carol's out here. She's wondering how things are going for Daryl. She probably finds his bike stashed up somewhere or left somewhere, and she's just like, what the hell? Like, what's going on, right? And Carol would not stop until she found Daryl. So she would track that like hell. She would, absolutely. And my question is, how does Carol get her way to France? You know what I mean? I think that's my bigger question, right? Because Daryl getting to France, if he's captured by someone and there's like a misunderstanding and then he gets on a ship and then he gets kicked off and then next thing you know, he's in France, that makes more sense to me. That's actually not all that far-fetched. What's far-fetched to me is that Carol would be able to figure out exactly where he went to and then get herself to France, right? There's got to be a higher higher functioning group that is able to get both of them to France, because it is convenient that Carol is exactly where Daryl is in France in season 2. You know what I mean? So there's a lot there to kind of explain. But I thought I would do a video just acknowledging this because I really like the idea of us finally, getting some answers on this. I didn't really think we would get any kind of answers on this at all, and I was actually going to flaw the show on that for not telling us how he gets on there, but it appears like the way they're kind of laying out the story is that we are in the unknown with Daryl. We don't know how he got there. He doesn't know how he got there, and there are going to be flashbacks told to show us how he gets there. Now, obviously, if the flashbacks are a little bit goofy, we'll acknowledge that when the time comes, but at least as of right now, I'm very appreciative that they're showing us what happened, and they're giving us context, right? Because that's one of the things that the Walking Dead universe does not do very much these days. Sometimes characters will just be anywhere, and they don't really explain, So I do appreciate that they're actually going out of their way to show us how things got like they are, right? So that's pretty cool. So post your comments down below. Are you happy to see some flashbacks? Are you happy to find out exactly what went down with Daryl and how he made it to France? Do you think it's going to be realistic? Do you think it's going to be a little far-fetched, or do you think it's just not going to be realistic at all? Let me know. So if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this video, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos for The Walking Dead. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I will see you guys really soon for more videos for Daryl Dixon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.